Welcome to Master the Game. I am Juice, and today I have a very special guest from Dice Bard with me. Before I throw it over to her to introduce herself, though, I want to quickly say if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button below. And be sure to give us a like. And if you have any questions throughout this, feel free to post a question in all caps on the side of the chat, and I will try to address it. So with that, let's throw it over to Madisen from Dice Bard.
Hey, I'm Madisen, and yes, I run Dice Bard with a team, an amazing team, but yes.
So who's on your team and how are your responsibilities different?
So at the moment, it's myself and my good friend Gideon. So I've been friends with Gideon for quite a long time, and he is one of the founders of Dice Bard, and he brought me on just to sort of like start doing conventions. And that was our main focus as a company for a long time. And it's the best job in the world. Conventions are so sweet. And eventually they sort of asked me to take on more responsibilities. So at the moment I'm sort of running like the day-to-day operations of the company. We've revamped the website, which has been really fun and a lot of work. And that was mainly due to COVID, because everything sort of stopped and we had to look at ourselves and make some changes.
Right. Reanalyze what you're doing and what your strategy is. I get it.
Yeah. Well, and the website had sort of been like slightly neglected. So we'd go to conventions and people would want to get our dice online, and we were sort of only bringing our premium dice to cons because it makes them more exclusive and it's very fun. And then, so we realized that a lot of our dice were either out of stock or they were sort of like very ancient and had been on the shelves for a few years and that kind of thing. So, yeah. And then we also, the thing about Dice Bard is that all of our dice sort of like, we like them to come with a bit of a story. We have written fresh poems for all of our dice, which are up on the website now. It was a lot of fun writing them. It was a bit of a collaboration. It was, I did quite a bit of it, but and Gideon helped me sort of edit and do that kind of thing. So check them out.
Do you find you like playing a bard when you play D&D?
Yes.
Is that like your favorite class?
I think it's both of our favorite class. And I think that that's where they came up with the idea of Dice Bard, is that it's just so fun. And the idea of playing a bard is like very jovial. And especially when we started going to conventions, we brought that energy in. So, when you're talking to people, you're like always rolling for charisma. It's like every time you strike up a new conversation, it's a charisma roll. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then, so when I started out knowing Gideon through a D&D campaign, and that's sort of how we became friends. And initially, I think I was playing a cleric, and I got very frustrated playing a cleric because I felt like I was always in the back and I had to be very good and very holy. And I know that's not always true and it's a stereotype, but it was my first sort of real campaign in a long time.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I think the people that we were playing with, like our group of friends, could tell that I wasn't necessarily happy. So they gave me the opportunity to like switch up my class.
Right. Did your party expect you to like run around and be a healer as a cleric too? Was that like part of the issue?
It was a support role. And I think I was trapping myself in my head into like the stereotype of what a cleric is. Yeah. And I would try and, our DM at the time was actually my boss at the job that I had prior to me working at Dice Bard. So, it was a bit complicated. Yeah.
Sure.
So I felt in some ways probably like I had to be like a really good cleric to impress my boss.
So it's funny you say that because when we lived on the other side of the state, I was a DM for a group of about 6, and 2 of the people were my employees. So never thought about how much pressure that could be on them, but now I'm making that connection.
It's a lot of pressure. Yeah. I'm sure there's people out there. Yeah. He was very serious and very tactical.
Nice.
So I felt a little lost. And then so I became a bard, and that was a little bit better, but they kept asking me to sing, and I'm a terrible singer. Terrible.
I gave my wife a magic item in our Descent game where she was supposed to sing, and it was a dancing sword, but it only worked if she sung. She's like, I don't like singing. It's not happening. So we redid it.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing. Yeah, so we're actually, one of the projects that Dicebard is working on right now is we're hoping to start like a podcast, like a D&D podcast. So we have a few people that we've gathered, and we're gonna play together. And so I'm playing a half-orc bard, but I think I'm gonna take a couple levels in barbarian.
Oh yeah.
Not sure. Yeah.
You
so
should.
We'll see.
It's on your mind now. You should.
It's a barbarian. It's
barbarian.
Like, yeah.
I love that. I love it. Yeah. When you guys launch that, let me know, and I'll share it around in my Discord and stuff.
I will, totally. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And anyway, so she only does slam poetry. She does not sing.
There you go. You just have to say things in rhymes then? Is that how that works?
Yeah. Well, it's a lot like the work that I did on the website.
Right. Are you writing out your little rhymes now ahead of time for your character?
Yeah, I think I might do a little bit of that. I just don't want to be caught off guard. I tried to improv a poem last session, and it was very bad.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
So is that like well, what is the most odd character you've ever played then?
The most odd character?
Yeah.
So actually, interestingly, I started getting into D&D when I was a very, very small child. I know earlier before we went live, you were talking about your daughter and sort of playing D&D with her. And it was the same thing with my dad. So when I was probably like starting around 6 or 7, wow. He would like, yeah. So he had his same friends from high school that he played D&D with like forever. Mm-hmm. And they always had a campaign going, and he's still playing with them now. And so he would take me along to sessions, and I wanted to go because they always had snacks.
Yes.
Like Twizzlers and chips and like that kind of stuff. So yeah. I was a very hungry child, and I needed to have that. So I would go with him, but it got me into D&D as well. And then I started playing like online RPGs a little bit when I was a kid. I wouldn't really play online. Like I would sort of play solo more, but I would play like Diablo. Even like, I don't know if anyone remembers Heroes of Might and Magic.
Sounds very familiar. What
system gonna ring was a bell.
That? What system?
It was like a really old PC game.
I bet you I know what it is somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I've looked it up a few times since, and like seeing the photos, you know, that like really deep nostalgia that you can feel sometimes, mm-hmm. where you don't even remembering the thing.
Yeah, I played Dragon Quest and had that happen. Like, so I have a Nintendo that I play on, and my friend, you know, set it up with all the games on it. And so like I started playing, I'm like, oh, I forgot about the little slimes and stuff. And I was like, oh, This is great. Like, this is the greatest game ever.
Yeah, it's like that. So I started getting into D&D through my dad. And then when I sort of wasn't into it for a while when I was a, cool teenager. And
I couldn't find people as a teenager to play, so that was no problem.
Yeah, right. It was super on the down low. Mm-hmm. And then when I got back into it, like as an adult a few years ago, I started playing campaigns with my dad and his like high school buddies that like would, I was like sitting on their knee when I was a tiny child. So it was a little bit interesting. And so in one of those campaigns, I played a gnome ranger, which I guess isn't that strange. Like I feel like maybe the half orc barbarian is stranger.
Sure.
But for me, it was like a totally different thing. Like rangers are so, I don't know, I see them as being a very quiet and like almost introverted class, which I do identify with in some ways, but I'm always so in the headspace of being a bard that it was very challenging to kind of like pull back on that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm actually, I think I'm more introvert than extrovert, which surprises some people. But someone told me once they think I'm a social introvert. So like I'll go to like a convention and be very social all weekend, right? And then come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I won't want to talk to a soul. I'll stay in my house and like be real low key.
Yeah, it is like that. I always experience a little bit of convention burnout. I think I've probably done about yeah, like I said, I think 10 to 15 conventions so far, and that's about, a year and a half of working with Dice Bard and doing that. And it's so fun. It's the best experience. Like, I love the people. Everyone is so nice. It's a blast, and getting to travel and that kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like you get back on Monday, you fly home or whatever, and I'm like totally burnt out for a week.
Yeah.
Just like, no one talked to me. I'm just like playing like Batman on my old PS3.
Yeah. That's when I want to play my video games, is when I don't want to socialize. I just want to sit there for like 2 nights, play some video games, and then I'll be back to normal. But
yeah. It's the recharge.
Exactly.
Recharge.
So, with the amount of conventions you guys go to or try to go to, what are some of the bigger ones you've been to, and how far away is the furthest you've gone for one?
Ooh. So me personally, the biggest convention we've ever done as a company is PAX East.
Okay. Philadelphia, right?
No. That was in Boston.
Boston. Okay. I knew it was somewhere over there. That's a big difference, but
yeah. It's weird being from Canada, because I was we were also at C2E2 in the same weekend. So it was one of our like team members who was at that one.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and so we were like running both conventions at the same time. When I found out that there was going to be that was in Chicago, and I thought Chicago and Boston were like next door to each other. I hadn't.
You're talking about 25-hour drive difference.
Well, now I know. Maybe that's just my geography is terrible. But yeah, I was like, no, that is, and I didn't know what the Midwest was. Like, I don't understand the whole
Gotcha.
Midwest thing, because
technically I'm Midwest, but I consider like Chicago, Michigan area more like Great Lakes, and then just south of us I consider Midwest. But technically I'm Midwest. Yeah.
So it's up in the air.
Yeah,
we can decide.
Kinda.
Right.
It's that central area there, kind of central eastern area.
It's weird because it's more east, which I find a little confusing as
then you got nothing
a foreigner.
You got the Dakotas. There's nothing there.
Right.
So they don't count.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna look at a map and think about it. But yeah, so PAX East, it's not the furthest I've ever traveled, though. I think actually when I did a convention in Montreal, it was a little bit further.
Okay.
But it was definitely, PAX East was the biggest. And that was the most recent one. That was the last convention I did before COVID hit.
Gotcha.
And it was amazing. I feel like I met so many people.
Was that February?
My gosh. I can look at my calendar. I'm not even sure. It feels like time has changed.
Right.
Everything's different now.
Yeah, I feel like late March, everything stopped. It's just pause.
Yeah. Yes, it was February. Very end of February. Gotcha. The last few days there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So were you guys planning on going to Gen Con or some of the other really big ones?
Wait, so it's so funny that you asked that, because I feel like that's a convention or a question that I get asked at conventions every single time. People ask us if we're going to go to Gen Con. It's the dream.
Sure.
It's the real dream. And I have been in touch with a few of the people who run Gen Con just through making contacts at conventions and emailing around. So we're hoping that in the next couple years.
There's only 20 dice companies there. I'm sure there's room for one more.
Right?
There's a lot. I only went once and there were a lot of different dice companies.
Yeah. And it does get like that. It can get pretty saturated. So something that's been a lot of fun for us as a company is kind of figuring out the market, and it's all, it feels very playful for us when we're at conventions, because we get to check out the other dice vendors and be oh, who's here? And we know them, and we like the guys at Level Up Dice. They're sweethearts. Yeah, we've met a lot of their staff, and we have a good rapport.
That's good.
And so something else that we've been sort of doing is trying out different products at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're working with a company that's on Etsy, Bark and Hide.
Okay.
And they partnered with them. We've been offering leather backpacks. So they're handmade leather backpacks. They're gamer packs. So I think we've been sharing them a little bit on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but you can check it out. With our mystery bags that we just released, we had a sort of a contest. So everyone who ordered a mystery bag got a little coupon. And if you shared a picture of your mystery bag, you got entered in a contest to win one of our leather backpacks. So yeah, they're pretty nice. And those have been doing really well at conventions. And a lot of the people from Level Up Dice at PAX East like really wanted backpacks.
That's awesome.
But yeah. And so in that way, it's kind of fun because we do have the dice, but then we've been bringing in other products as well.
Yeah.
Extra stuff. Yeah, we've got little pins. No, let's sign them on here.
Little lapel pins.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not on the camera. Can't really see it. But okay. Yeah, that's another Bark and Hide product. And we also just started launching tea, which has been really exciting.
Getting into a whole different market there.
Yes. We like to feel very versatile.
So what kind of teas do you offer?
Right. So it's a sister company for us. It's called D&T.
Okay.
And essentially, yeah, so it's run by the same team that we have. And we have a few different kinds of tea. It's all loose leaf. And it hasn't been launched yet, but we have been bringing it to conventions. So I don't really know who's going to see this stream, but potentially people who have seen us at conventions and have had our tea.
Right.
And it's very, very popular. We have had such a blast coming up with the products and stuff like that. So we've got a few different kinds. We've got one herbal tea, which sold out first, I think, at PAX East. But it's called, oh my goodness, Feywild Dreams.
See, yes. That's perfect. I don't drink coffee.
Yes.
My wife's a big coffee drinker. And she's always like, you need to at least drink tea or something. And I'm just like, maybe. And I've had a little bit of tea. I don't know anything about it. And so, I don't know. Maybe if I ever run into you guys at a convention, I'll have to buy a bunch off you guys.
Well, we're launching a Kickstarter. Yeah, so that's Perfect. The exciting thing is, so we've only been bringing it to conventions as like we have with everything else. But when COVID hit, and we had to relaunch our website and stuff like that. We're like, okay, well, let's figure out tea online.
Yeah.
So we're launching a Kickstarter for it. Very excited. And so we've got Feywild Dreams as our herbal tea. We've got Elven Bazaar is a chai. Super lovely. It's very aromatic and spicy and lots of ginger and cinnamon, and then we've got Underdark and Chill, which is sort of like an Earl Grey, but it's got bergamot, vanilla. It's nice and sweet and spicy. We've got I think we've got about 6 different kinds of tea. I could list them all for you. I like the names. That might be boring. Thank you.
I like it. So you had briefly mentioned your mystery bags, and I know right now because you guys aren't going to the conventions, you're hoping to sell more of these mystery bags because you had stocked up on a lot of dice. So do you want to talk a little bit more about the mystery bags?
I would love to. The first thing that I'll say about the mystery bags is they are sold out.
That was the whole thing in the first place. It's okay.
We're pivoting to tea.
Gotcha. I'm glad to hear that, though.
Thank you. It went so well. I mean, again, I'm not sure, who's all watching the stream, but, we are so grateful for the folks in the community. Because, I know that everyone was really excited because sick dice and a great price. But at the same time, it meant a lot to us just to have that support and to reconnect with everyone in the same way that we kind of do at a convention, but it was online. But it was great to be able to just chat with folks and talk about dice and have that sort of experience as well. So the mystery bags are sold out. Basically what happened is that we had 1 or 2 weekends where we had 3 conventions booked. So I was meant to be in Kansas City at a convention. And so we had sent a whole bunch of dice there for that. We were also meant to do ECCC in Seattle, which is another sort of big one. And so we had stocked quite a bit for that. And then we were also supposed to do, it was one on Vancouver Island. Okay.
Okay.
So Canadians will know
It was
where
close
that is
by.
and what that looks like. Yeah, it's just off the coast of Vancouver. So
Yeah.
right,
British Columbia.
British Columbia, right on the end, on the west end there. Yeah, and so we had stocked for all of those, and then COVID happened, and Kansas City was canceled, and then Victoria was canceled, which is the Vancouver Island Convention, and ECCC was canceled, which was a huge hit for a lot of people. I know it was very unfortunate. So we essentially had to figure out how to get all of our shipments back to Vancouver. We had to call all the shipping companies and sort it out. And then once we did, we just decided to do mystery bags for everyone because, I mean, yeah, it was just like a lot of like really gorgeous premium dice that we know people would have loved at the cons. And we wanted to make it accessible for people, I think. And we wanted to get it out of Gideon's house.
Right. I was going to say, sitting on all that stock and inventory, I feel like I would have had a heart attack. I'd have been like, what am I going to do? I've got hundreds of dollars just sitting here.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of that. We had a moment of that for sure. But it was quickly remedied by like mystery bags.
You were able to do something good for your supporters too. So it was a nice win-win, it sounds like.
I think so. Yeah. And so we are going to get more mystery bags going on the website. They're going to be a little bit different. I think some of the packaging is going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be the exact same idea. And we're going to have a chance to win metal dice, the same. I think it was 1 in 4. And then we're going to have a chance to win gemstone dice. So you can look out for that coming up at some point.
Right.
But yeah, we're super excited to get those back. And then the other thing that we have going on, which kind of goes along with the D&T, is we've just created a line of drinking tumblers with like a. Do you drink loose leaf tea?
My wife, it's usually bag, but
Bag tea.
She can do loose leaf. You had to buy something to filter it, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
She had me go to the store one time and try to find it. I couldn't, and then she ended up finding it, I think. So we were good, but I don't know what it looks like or where it's at now. But yes.
Yeah. So it's like a tea filter. Yeah. And all of our tumblers come with it.
Nice.
So yes. So it kind of like solves that thing, because we had some people at conventions kind of come and want to buy tea, but they don't know how to do the loose leaf thing.
Right. Yep.
So
I just cut out pop too, like a week ago. I just finished the last pop we had like just a couple days ago. So like I'm on strictly water, which is fine. So tea will probably become not regular, but it'll be more common around here for me.
I love that.
I'm trying to be healthy.
Covered. Honestly, I find that very admirable. I think pop is one of the hardest things to stop drinking. I get moody without it.
I really do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's just like sugar in general. Like I went through a bit of that too with like, I found that my health was like, I was struggling a little bit. I was feeling pretty tired all the time. And I was eating a lot of sugar and muffins and like, in my coffee and like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so when I stopped doing that, I was mean to everyone for like 3 weeks.
I was a little grouchy this morning because what I would normally do is, because I'm not a coffee drinker and I don't drink pop every day, even before, but sometimes if I was having one of those days where I knew I was going to be real tired, I would have pop in the morning. And, like that would make it so I wouldn't be grouchy, but it wouldn't help anything else.
It's so tough because it gives you the like little perk. And then you feel good for a bit, and then you need another one, and then you need another one, and it's just like it never ends. Yeah. So congratulate. Like, I mean, I don't know if congratulations is the right thing, but
let's see if I can get to the other side of it.
There you go.
I've given it up before, and I've made it like a month, and then I started drinking it again. So.
It's so tough.
I know.
Yeah.
So, do you guys create your own dice, or do you have somebody else make them and just order them?
Yeah. So we work with a manufacturer.
Okay.
So some of the dice we have custom designed ourselves, which was a ton of fun. And we have a very like close relationship with our manufacturers. Like we're emailing them all the time, and sometimes they like send us photos of their vacation and that kind of stuff. Like we have like our friends at the warehouse and that kind of stuff.
Right. Do you order locally from where you're at then? Like, do you know the manufacturers face to face?
No, it's not local, and we have not met them. But it feels close to me.
I get it.
Maybe they don't agree. I'm not sure.
To them, you're just another customer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it could be one-sided. I'm actually the one sending them photos all the time.
Nice. So when you've actually designed your own dice, does that mean like you made them and poured the resin and everything yourselves?
No. We gave them like a design and they made it up for us.
Gotcha. So you just said like a color and okay.
Yeah. But what we find is like working with manufacturer kind of allows the dice to be like we can do really cool things that are a bit harder to do if you make your own dice. Like some of the premium sets that went out in the mystery bags have little clovers in them, like little flowers, like a real flower inside of it. Yeah, it's set in the dice. Some of them have little seashells, as well as some color and that kind of stuff. And so what's great about the manufacturing is like people always ask us if our dice are balanced because of those things. And I mean, they're as balanced as they could be, and it doesn't throw it off too much.
Right. I would just say yes.
You're going, yeah.
Prove me wrong.
That's good. You're hired.
Roll it. I tell you, you're not going to get 20 every time. Or if you're rolling D6s, you're not going to get a 6 every time. So. Have you seen real weighted dice? How they roll?
No.
Oh, they're terrible. So I watched somebody use weighted dice. They're D6s, and they were using them to create a character in like a D&D group. And every time they rolled it, they almost always got 6s. Almost all the time.
6s.
Yeah, and you could tell that it would bounce, and it would bounce funny, and it sounded so heavy. It just didn't look right. So
sketchy.
Yeah. You can find them on Amazon, I guess. They're not that expensive.
I've had a lot of people ask me if we have weighted dice, but I feel like it's always people at conventions who I don't think play D&D.
Right.
Like they just come up to our booth and see that we have dice, and they're always like a little bit sketchy, and they're like, "Hey, do you have weighted dice?" And we're like, "No." Or I'll make a joke and be like, "Oh, I sell those after hours." Or
I like that one.
Yeah.
You can come get those after hours. 6:30 we close here. We'll be in the gaming hall at 7:30. By the way, you got to pay $10 for the ticket to play in the charity game first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
So with going to all the conventions, when things shut down for the night, because, like usually the vendor hall shuts down like well in advance. Do you guys then go and play a bunch of board games and role-playing games? Or what's your routine then? When
Sometimes. In general, like I think our volunteers like to go and do that stuff.
Sure.
Like they'll go and like do the party and do the party. I don't know what. That's not a sentence.
It's that 9-year-old coming out of you.
It is. It's oh boy. No, but they. So like for instance, at PAX East, they had a mixer, and they had like lots of like food and drinks, and everyone was like having a great time and socializing, and I had to go back to my hotel room and like do stock or something like that. Like I was like sorting dice all night. Yeah. But the volunteers went, and I think that they had a really great time.
Well, good for them.
So that's good. Yeah. Generally, like I get pretty beat like after the day of working, because I like to get there quite early. Like I think usually the hall's open at 10. So I'll get there, 8 o'clock, and got to get breakfast and kind of like set everything up and that kind of stuff. But there have been sometimes, like I did a convention in Hawaii, which was amazing for like so many reasons.
I was going to say, screw the convention, just go to Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, it's great because it's both. You get like the fun of the convention and then the fun of being tropical.
I'm sure their conventions are pretty, like their convention halls are probably pretty nice too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's gorgeous. The one in Honolulu is like all windows and just like big palm trees. It's crazy. So yeah, I felt so like lucky to even be there. But that was also a convention where I ended up like making really good friends with the people in like the booth across from me and like the volunteers that we had, and we had a good time. We hung out a lot. So yeah, there was definitely more socializing.
Right. So would you say you do most of your guys' business online? Or would you say you do it mostly in conventions?
Conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think for us, like it's just been such a fun experience that we've, when you enjoy doing something, it doesn't really feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been a bit of that.
That's the dream.
It's really great. So getting to like visit different places, especially in America. I mean, like I think America's great. Like, I know you guys have a lot going on.
You're just saying that.
I am not.
Well, I think Canada's great. So.
Thank you. But like the people are so incredibly kind in my experience. Everyone that I've encountered has just been, just and
gamers
I know
and
that's
non-gamers alike. You mean
gamers and non-gamers? But I mean, it's just I think I found it more in like the small moments. I know it's not rose-colored glasses or anything like that I have on, right. But I've just had like amazing conversations with my Uber drivers in America. Yes. That I feel like that doesn't happen as much in Canada. People are a bit more reserved. Where people are just so open and like they want to chat and share and ask me questions, and like I just love that. I think that's really great. So that's one thing that I love about coming to America and doing conventions and stuff. But yeah, I forget what the question was.
I don't remember.
I got caught up.
We were talking about like Hawaii, or I don't even know.
It was socializing. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So one of the viewers says, is there any international conventions that she would want to go to?
That she would want to go to?
Yeah, that you would want to go to.
Oh, that I would want to go to.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously you've been to America. So what about like anything like, I don't know, there's some in Australia, I think, UK.
Yeah.
Like where would be, and maybe there's not a specific convention. Maybe there's a location you would want to go.
Oh, so convention-wise, I have some like extended family who lives in Denmark.
Okay.
And so I visited Scandinavia last summer for a little while, just sort of hanging out with family and doing that kind of thing. But I ended up going to Sweden for a little while, and I visited Stockholm.
Nice.
Honestly, like I feel like the gaming culture there is pretty incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've never been overseas.
Really?
Yeah, I want to. So Italy's my number one. Like if I could go anywhere in the world, I want to go to Italy. That's like a bucket list item for me.
Cool. So, yeah. Italy. Yeah. I mean, the food.
Yeah. I hear the food's amazing. From what I've seen, like other than New Zealand, like that's one of the beautiful places I'd like to go to as well. But like, or Sweden. Sweden has some really, like, I love the idea of mountains, but then like you could be like, not in the mountains and it still be warm, but you're looking up at like snow top mountain, that whole thing is cool to me.
We have that a bit in Vancouver. So
see, well, maybe I need to go there too.
Yeah, actually, it reminded me a lot of Vancouver, just in terms of like the ocean and the forest and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think Scandinavia in general, like I think there's some really cool like stuff going on. And when I was in Stockholm, they had like on one of their main streets, they had this mega storefront, and it was like just a gaming store. It was like a tabletop gaming store. Okay. And they had all this like D&D stuff in the windows, and it was just like so big. And I don't know, I just got the sense that people were into it. So I think that's someplace that I'd want to go.
I've heard that trying to buy games like D&D in other countries is extremely expensive. Like especially like overseas. Like Canada, it's more expensive than here. But like Sweden, I could only imagine what it would cost, or any of the United, the EU.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't end up having a chance to go in the store.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Probably a major failure of mine. Yeah. Guess I have to go back. Right. But yeah, No, I don't. So I know that I've heard the D&D books are more expensive in other languages, especially. So we had an experience where I went to Montreal, which is the east coast of Canada, for a convention. And my overall feeling while I was there is that people did not know what D&D was. And I'm sure that if someone from Montreal sees this, they will be like, yes, we do, and maybe be mad.
I have a couple YouTube friends who are from that area, from Quebec. So.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask them.
Ask them. But I think it might be Montreal specifically because it's such a cool city. Yeah. And I have a friend there, and when I was talking to her about this experience, like I had people coming up to the dice booth asking me, like, well, kind of yelling at me in French. And I speak a little bit of French, so I kind of got what they were saying. But they were sort of like, what are these? What is this for? Is this candy? Can I eat this? Yeah.
It does. Some of it does look like it.
I know. And they actually have dice now that has like candy inside of it. So I feel like it might be a little bit justified. But no, it was... And people like didn't understand that it was a game and like what the game was, because all we have is dice. Like we don't have any really D&D stuff. Like one of our tagline on our booth, I think, is all you need to play D&D as long as all you need are dice. So it's really just dice. And yeah. So it was just kind of one of those weird experiences where people really had no idea. And I think it was a bit of like the language difference. And I think it was a bit Montreal as a city because like I said, I was asking a friend about it. I was like, how come no one here like is a nerd? And she was like, oh, well, you know, I think there's a lot of like graphic designers here and tattoo artists. Yeah.
But see, hipsters in America like D&D, so I don't understand.
I know. It was bizarre. And it's a cold place too. And what I've usually found is cold places love D&D because you like hunker down and
stay warm.
Yeah. So that was very strange. And then we figured out that the books, you know, to get a D&D book in French is much more expensive. And that's most people's first language there. So I think that might have something to do with it too.
Yeah. I feel like if I didn't live in America, I would probably just have to figure out a way to like PDFs. That's just how it would have to be. And I hate PDFs. I can't sit there and just read a PDF for any games. Just can't do it.
It's very tough. Yeah. Well, you could print them out.
Yeah. But then it's more expensive than buying the book half the time.
It is.
And it's not as good a quality.
No. Yeah.
So let's see. We've talked about the conventions. Oh, so you guys are dabbling with some other products. What do you think the future holds? Obviously, right now it's tea. Do you guys have a plan? Like, what do you envision like 3 years from now Dice Bard's going to be doing?
Just like world domination.
If you can talk about it. Yeah. Maybe it's just something that you've had in your head and you haven't even talked about with your partner. I don't know.
I don't know. But we do talk about it. I think we took quite a big hit. Like I think, to be honest, like none of us in the company talked for about 2 weeks when COVID hit. Yeah. We just sort of were devastated. So it took quite a bit for us to come back from that and to realize that we had like an opportunity, like I said, to redo our website, which ended up being a really fun, rewarding project. So I think thinking about the future is difficult because of the circumstances that we're in. Like if you had asked me a couple months ago, you know, I would have been like, oh, we're going to do all the conventions and like, you know, try and like compete with Level Up Dice, you know, like jokingly, obviously, but
it's good to be competitive too. Like I do that too. I'm like, there's this other YouTube channel that's got like 1,000 more subscribers. I'm going to surpass them. Like I always do that. Yeah. I never pass them though. They always climb away from me.
For now,
right.
We're doing great. But yeah, so it's become a bit of a different world since we sort of had those plans. But to be honest, I'm looking forward to a future in which, you know, we have lots of like dice available for people, premium, like, you know, well-priced dice, mystery bags, that kind of thing. Like I want to keep going with that.
I like the mystery bag thing. You guys should do that like, annually or something. Make it a new thing.
Yeah, well,
That'd be
we could
cool.
do like special mystery bags annually. We're gonna have them all the time on the website. So if you ever,
Nice.
are feeling mysterious, you can just
Just
grab them.
but I want to buy more dice, which
Yeah, that's
it
the
does
thing.
happen to me a lot.
Hmm.
But I have
And
this genuine fear I'm going to get something I don't like as much. Then I have to give it to my wife. I've done
yeah,
that before.
and that's okay. Or your kids,
Oh,
not
that's
the
true.
young ones, because they'll eat
That's
it. But yeah,
My 5-year-old likes dice.
yeah. Actually, I do find at conventions that the only people who try and steal our dice from the booth are children.
5-year-olds. Yeah.
Yeah, adults, no. Tiny kids, yeah, they'll shove it up their sleeves and run away.
Really? Like they purposely actually try to steal it.
Yes, this has happened like on multiple occasions. Usually the parents catch them.
Right.
And they're like, what are you doing?
Right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're real thieves.
When I was a kid, I used to take gum from stores, so I get it. Like when I was like 5 or 6, yeah, I was with my aunt once. We went into a store and I took a pack of gum, just had it in my hand, went back to the car and was about to like open it. My aunt's like, "Where'd you get that?" She made me take it back in and apologize.
This is live. Like the police are coming for you now.
Oh no, I give it back. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's just not talk about the Pogs a couple years later.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone remembers Pogs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stole Pogs once too. That was dumb.
Oh my God. I can hear the sirens.
I know, right? Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah, but so and then in terms of like our other projects, we're just so excited.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the tea, I mean, we just had so much fun with it at conventions. We got to be sommeliers. We were already dice sommeliers, but now we were like real tea sommeliers.
You're getting a little uppity now. Like you're gonna start.
I'm getting
like,
uppity?
No, not you. I mean the company. Like you're gonna have like this high end tea, these high end dice. Look at you guys. Pretty soon you're gonna be like.
Well, I also have a bow tie.
Right, I know, and the vest and everything.
I know. It's a whole look.
Is that how you guys dress for conventions? You wear like a tie and everything? Oh, that's cool. I liked it.
Yeah, that's why I wore this, is because I don't know. It's just
like,
fun.
It's like the plaid hat games guys. When you see them at conventions, they always have these hats that are plaid, and you can't miss them. Like you'll see them in the building, and like once the stuff shuts down, you start seeing them in the gaming halls. You're like, oh yeah, there's the plaid hat guys.
It's just the hats like floating around.
They wear like black shirts with like a someone wearing like a plaid hat, or maybe it's just the logo looks plaid. I don't remember, but yeah, you don't miss them.
No, it's good to have a look. Like it feels good to be recognizable, especially at conventions, because there's so many bodies. And so I think it just helps in that way.
Do people ever think you just work for the convention though?
No.
Or you've never been okay. Interesting.
I'm always behind the booth.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Or I'm like sneaking like my like quick lunch, underneath like a box or something. I don't know.
Right. That's funny.
Just in my cardboard box. Yeah, no. So we we're just really excited about the tea and the tea tumblers. So the tea tumblers are available now on our website, dnt.com, I believe. I can send you some links and stuff.
They're under dnt.com or dicebard.com?
Dicebard.com is dice. That's our dice.
So you have two different sites now.
We have two different sites. Yeah. And then we're also, we have the Bark and Hide stuff going as well. And that's on Etsy.
Gotcha.
So check that out. So we're all of those are like different Twitter accounts. Different websites.
I'm looking. So I see the Barbarian Tumblr and the Bard Tumblr.
Hey, yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
I'd totally rock the Barbarian one holding a heart in my hand.
I
like the
honest,
fighter too.
The fighter's gorgeous. Yeah. So we worked with like this incredible tattoo artist on the designs.
I was gonna say it looks kind of like that.
Yeah. So he did them. Lovely, lovely person. And yeah, so he we bought the rights to those images like exclusively, so we're putting them on pins, and we've got tumblers now and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, he just did like an incredible job, and they look great on the products. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to try and share that real quick so I can show the
Sweet.
stream because it is cool. Let's see. Window capture. Sorry, it takes me a second just to do this. There we go. Perfect.
No worries.
All right, so I got it up now, I think. Let's see. Turn off studio mode. There we go. All right, got it up. Can you see it okay?
Yeah. Oh, this is cool.
So I like the barbarian one. I like the cleric one a lot. Oh, what else?
Yeah. The DM is fun too.
I was going to say that looks kind of cool. I definitely like the paladin one down here a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Hammer.
Where's the paladin? I'm looking at monk.
Oh.
We've got rogue, fighter.
Too fast. There it is, to the right here.
To the right. Oh, I think it's cutting off on my screen a little bit. I'm not sure if other people are experiencing that.
You know what? It totally is. Hang on, let me fix that.
But there's Palace Elixir. That's a lovely jasmine green tea. The little pearls, when you put the hot water on it, they open up into like little flowers. It's beautiful.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. Rogue's cool. Sorcerer's cool.
Yeah, the rogue is one of our most popular pins. So we had the tattoo artist. He also did like an incredible job of redesigning the images for pins to make them just like a little bit simpler and stuff like that. So that's the bard pin that I'm wearing. And then we've got other ones. And those are on the Bark and Hide
Etsy store.
Store. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like that. I dig that. Yeah. I'll have to send it to my wife and tell her to look it over and see if there's anything we want.
Yeah.
We'll want
thank
everything.
you so much.
We'll want everything. But don't get your hopes up on that. We're not buying everything.
I have no expectations here.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for showing that. That was really cool to see. Yeah. I think we just got the images up on the website like last night. So.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's
good timing.
It's nice to see.
Yeah, I was looking through DiceBard. I'm like, there's only dice on here. What happened?
Yeah.
So I didn't know
we just
you guys
sort
were
of
spread out so much. So is there a chance to bring all that onto one site at one point, or is it still going to stay in their own places?
I think we like having it in their own places. Like we're like a bit of a hydra, with the three heads. We've got our thing going on that way. And we like the Bark and Hide is like, we've got like our premium handmade products, right? Like we've got like backpacks, like handmade wooden dice vaults, that kind of stuff. So that's sort of its own deal. We've got the tea and the tumblers, and that feels like sort of its own deal. And then we've got the dice.
Gotcha.
But it's, I think it's simple that way, and we get to sort of keep focused on one thing or the other.
Yeah. So you said you were going to be doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Possibly when all this is over. So when is that possibly going to start?
Well, so we've actually started recording. We've done one session. And the podcast, it's like quite fun. I probably like hardly anyone knows this about me, but I have a secret theater degree.
A secret theater degree.
It has to be a secret because
it's under wraps. The degree's hidden behind the dragonfly picture in the back.
It is. It's on the down low. No, but I joke because it's, it's a fine arts. It's like theater degrees are good and very important. But for me, I have decided to sort of go in a different direction. Sure. But yeah, I have a couple of friends like from my theater days who I kind of got on board to do the podcast. So I've got my friend Lily and my friend Jeff, and they are like very charismatic, very funny, just like energetic, awesome humans. So yeah, the three of us make up sort of like the cast. And then we've got Gideon, who is the dungeon master of the campaign. And he's wonderful. He's got like this great British accent. So everything he says sounds
amazing,
smart and amazing. Yes.
So it's 3 players and a DM, and you're playing 5e?
We're playing 5e. Yeah,
cool.
That's right. Yeah.
Who are the characters?
So I've got the half-orc barbarian, who does slam poetry exclusively. And then we've got Lily, who she is playing a half-elf ranger.
Okay.
Very classic. And then we've got Jeff, who I believe is playing a rogue, I think race is still maybe a little bit undecided. We've been like chatting about it. So
Gotcha.
That's a bit of a mystery at this point.
Interesting.
It's gonna
it sounds like it's probably really RP heavy, less combat focused. Is that safe to assume?
Absolutely. Yes.
That's awesome.
You've got 3 theater people.
Well, that was the first thing right there. But then like I'm listening to the composition. I'm like, yeah, it's probably less combat focused.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah. And actually I did say that we were playing 5e, but I might be incorrect about that. It might be a bit of a homebrew.
Gotcha.
So it's 5e related homebrew stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it is going to be like kind of role play heavy. I have like a bit of like a fun like orc voice that I like to do, and she's very, very sweet and very charismatic as well. So yeah,
that's cool. So when do you think you guys will start putting out those episodes?
I'm not sure. I think it's like we've been very busy with sort of getting the tea launched and the website up and all of that kind of thing. So we haven't really, we've only recorded 1 episode. I'm not sure when we're going to put it out, but probably we'll do all the recording and then we'll release it once that's finished.
Once you get ahead or get close to finishing
once
up.
Once we get ahead. Yeah.
But
not too long. I promise that.
All right. I'm holding you to it. If I don't hear anything in like 2 months, I'll just send you a random email. Hey, what's going on with the podcast?
Please. I love that. I usually like random emails unless they're like a little spammy.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Someone in the chat said, someone swat Juice. He's a thief. I'm assuming because of the pogs and the gum comment earlier.
I
don't think anybody had any other questions. People are talking about like different ideas for dice. Looks like someone wants to do like digital dice. That he wants to make himself. Like, I don't know how that works. Cool. Yeah, not like a dice roller, but it sounds like he wants to make like a handheld thing that you want to make random. I don't know.
Oh, that's nice. Well, we're gonna get some digital dice up on the website. We've got some like really cool. They're like rainbow chrome digital, like hot pink dice. And they're metal, and they're like probably my favorite dice. I can't remember what we called them. Something space party dice. They're going to be up soon. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Yeah, and then we've got more. I think we have more like a bronze metallic digital as well.
Cool.
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is that time. It's 1:55 my time. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you giving me your hour. I know you're busy.
Yeah. Busy, yes. But never too busy to like hang and talk about D&D. It's
awesome.
The best.
We'll have to do it again, especially when you guys get your podcast up. Maybe I can get you and the whole cast on or something.
Oh my gosh. Cool. They would love that.
Then I'll just listen to you guys talk in character and stuff.
We're all dying to perform because we're theater people. So we would love that.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. And thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh, is there anything else you want to plug real quick before we go?
No, but I forgot about this and I feel bad now.
Nope, this is good. Perfect. Go ahead.
I made a special coupon code. So for those of you who are tuning in or who are watching this, the coupon code is RPG Talk, all caps.
There you go. One word.
And that one word, that coupon is going to get you $5 off anything on our website, except mystery bags, which are sold out for now. But
awesome.
Keep an eye out. We've got some sweet poems and some, which I keep bragging about them because I wrote them, but maybe people are going to be like, this is garbage. Who knows? But yeah. Anyway.
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
Well, thank you again, and be sure to let me know about the podcast. I'll promote that when I see it come across my feed. And
thank you
else,
so much.
Just reach out.
I will, totally. Yeah, and check out the Tumblrs. They're gorgeous.
I will. I'm going to send it to my wife as soon as we get off here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Juice. This was so fun.
No problem. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.